If you're looking to get your and your family's gut health in order with minimal cost and without a ton of supplements, this video is for you. Hello ladies, and welcome back to Thankful Thriftiness. My name is Maren. For anyone who is new to the channel, I'm a Christian wife, mama, and homemaker who lives in the currently completely icy state of Michigan. While you're here, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel if you're not already. So I'll be honest, I didn't really give gut health much thought until I was married. Before that, my mom had always fed us healthy foods that kept our bodies in order, and we weren't really big users of supplements. Not saying that there's not a time and place for supplements, but that's just not how we did things. A quick disclaimer, I am not a doctor or a medical professional of any time. I'm just a wife and a mom who's trying to help keep my family healthy. And this is what I've found works for us. I'm also not a scientist, so I'm gonna botch the scientific terms when I give a little explanation. But today, the goal of this video is to share with you some of the theory behind keeping your gut healthy, how you can easily do it from home with minimal cost, and some ideas of little lifestyle tweaks you can make to keep your gut happy. So when I got married, I started having some issues that women are pretty familiar with that kind of just let you know that you need more good gut bacteria. I didn't know that at first. At first, I just took the medicine to get rid of the problem, and then I realized it just was not sustainable. I don't want to be putting antibiotics into my body because I knew enough to at least recognize that if you're taking antibiotics, you need probiotics. And then I thought, what if I just incorporated more probiotics into my diet instead of taking antibiotics to get rid of the issue? I'm not recommending this for anyone, okay? This is an issue that was not dangerous in any way, really, unless I had it too frequently. So it worked for me. Do not try to self-treat issues that need antibiotics, okay? All I'm saying is I knew that something was off and I needed to be taking probiotics to get my body working properly. At first I just ate yogurt. I actually tend to hate yogurt. I really do, and it was hard to get down. Then I started doing some research about other ways of getting good bacteria into your gut and just evening everything out. And I found out there is actually quite a vast plethora of things to choose from. Before I get ahead of myself, let's talk about some of the benefits of probiotics. Improved digestional health, which I think all of us could use in this day and age of heavily processed foods. Heart health and immune system support, which I really need. So I'm sure at least one of those things in the list could be improved in your family. For me, it was all the above except for heart health. I think my heart's pretty healthy. So my journey to a healthier gut started with incorporating probiotic-rich foods in the form of sauerkraut. Now don't run away from this video yet. That is not the only way to do this. If you don't like sauerkraut, there are plenty of other options that are much more palatable. I happen to enjoy it. At first I didn't love it so much, but then I found my body craving it, which was so weird, even when I didn't like the taste. So my body got used to the taste and kept craving it when I needed it. So I incorporated that into my diet. It's super easy to make. I have a video linked in the description box below and up above if you want to make it yourself. It's worth giving it a shot. I mean, cabbage is pretty cheap. The process by which the sauerkraut is made is called Lacto Fermentation. That is where you get those extra nutrients and probiotics. The way lacto fermentation works, and I'm sorry in advance if I botch this, is you are taking a vegetable with already present bacteria and you are submerging it in a salt brine and allowing it to ferment over a course of time. Depends and varies on what you're fermenting. What happens in that time is that the salt water prevents bad bacteria from growing but allows the good bacteria to multiply, hence increasing the nutrients in that food and adding the health benefits. Probiotics are created and it's called, Lactobacillus. I think that's how you pronounce that. Hence lacto fermentation. The neat thing is that this process also allows your body to more easily absorb the nutrients from the food. So basically you're taking an already good food and turning it into something even better. And it's super, super easy to do. Let me know in the comments if you guys would like some tutorials on how to make homemade lacto fermented pickles and how to basically pickle any vegetable in this way. And I would be more than happy to show you, and I promise it's super simple. I have another video linked down below of how to make fermented garlic. You guys, this stuff's amazing. It's super duper easy to make, and I have friends who actually swallow 1 clove daily for immune support, and I've started doing that too because my immune system has really been struggling this winter. Trust me when I say this stuff smells strong, but it's very, very good for you. You can just use this in place of raw garlic in recipes. Now you have to be careful because cooking fermented foods can get rid of a lot of the nutrients that you've gained through the fermentation. So try to keep whatever you're using raw. Here's a list of probiotic-rich foods that you can easily incorporate into your family's diet. This isn't what I do necessarily. At the end of this video, I'll share my regimen, my family's regimen on how we incorporate probiotics, but here's a longer list for you to choose from. Probiotic pills, that's just an obvious one. Like I said, we don't prefer to take anything extra. We'd rather get the nutrients from our food, but that is an option. And it's a little bit more expensive, but it works. Yogurt, it's a pretty well-known one. Kefir, which I've never actually made. I tried it once, it wasn't really my thing, but I feel like I should probably try it again, right? If I'm into this stuff, I'm supposed to make kefir. Kombucha, which I really enjoy, but it's really expensive to buy, so we're hoping to get into making it sometime this year. Sauerkraut and kimchi. I just made this kimchi last week and it is so yummy. So yummy. I put it in my Asian soup and y'all, this stuff's bomb. I made it non-spicy because I'm a wimp when it comes to heat. And like I mentioned before, lacto fermented pickles are super easy to make and very delicious. We've discussed probiotics. Let's talk about overall gut health now. The biggest switch my family made was pretty much replacing all other breads with sourdough. Don't let the word scare you. It's a bit of a process to get into, but at this point I've got it down to a process that takes me about half an hour to an hour of active work a week to produce 2 loaves of sandwich bread. Here's the cool science behind sourdough. The process of souring, if you actually make real sourdough, not just adding it for flavor, but souring the dough for at least 12 to 24 hours, that process almost completely eliminates something called phytic acid. I think that's how you pronounce that. And this acid is naturally present in grains, but it's very, very hard for our body to break down, hence leading to a lot of gluten intolerance because we just can't digest it. For centuries, people soaked in fermented grains. It's only in the past probably 100 years that we've switched over to little yeast packets that have no added nutritional value and do not eliminate that acid. Another added bonus is that, like the lacto fermented foods, your body can more easily absorb the nutrients from the sourdough. In my opinion, it tastes way better than normal bread, and I don't feel bloated and icky after eating it. So we've pretty much entirely replaced our bread consumption with sourdough. If you have a hard time getting things like sauerkraut into your kids or husband, this is a really simple replacement that they will probably be fans of. Again, let me know in the comments below if you guys would like for me to share my sourdough regimen with you all. There is another resource that I really enjoy, which is Farmhouse on Boone. It's a blog and a YouTube channel, and Lisa has so many resources when it comes to sourdough, like pretty much any recipe you can think of. I have to be careful when I say this, but I think it's worth a try. Sourdough is so effective at eliminating that acid that people who struggle with gluten intolerance can often eat sourdough bread and be totally fine. This does not count for people with celiac disease. So please do not mess around with eating wheat when you have that issue. So at this point in the video, I want to share with you my personal routine on eating gut healthy foods and the result it has had on my overall well-being. So in our family, we eat sourdough bread. I eat the sauerkraut and the kimchi, and I swallow the fermented garlic. It's just a little too strong for me to eat. During the summer, I make lacto fermented pickles, and hopefully soon I will be crafting kombucha. Every day I make it a point to eat at least half a cup of sauerkraut or kimchi and consume my carbs through sourdough bread. And y'all, those health issues I had have pretty much disappeared. It's kind of crazy. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, I don't know much, but I do know that it has worked for my health, and it can't hurt to try just adding these sorts of foods into your diet. I would rather treat things with healthy superpower foods than pills, because that's not really sustainable and it's way too expensive for me. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions that I will do my best to answer. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully soon in the future, we will be able to do a full series on how to include gut healthy foods into our family's diets. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Goodbye.